This is Seahawks Today. I am your wonderful host, Will Ortner. At least that's what my mother tells me every single day. We are going to be talking about what the Seahawks could be potentially doing during NFL free agency because it is literally just a couple of days away. There's a lot of Seahawks fans that have questions. We are going to have answers for you, and we're going to break down all of the latest news and rumors. But before we do that, I need to let you know about this sweet t-shirt. How often can you find some of the coolest things to wear at just $24.99? Well, you can over at chatsports.com/Seahawks T. Look at this sweet navy as well as the black t-shirt that we have. If you want to show that you're a real one, support the show, support the team here, you can go grab one of those today. Now, we still have some St. Patrick's Day merch going. You want to join my guy Jerry B in the Seattle Drinking Team, you can grab this green t-shirt, or you could go in and grab our navy one as well. Super affordable, very comfy. Love wearing it. And you can match that with this sweet beer drinking hat. Who doesn't love a hat that says beers on it? It's the trucker style, which I do think is very cool. Only $24.99. Now, there is something that I want to make sure that I get across to you. If you want to make sure that that Drinking Team merch and the hat is to you in time for St. Patty's Day, you got to make sure that you use the express delivery, only $5. So if you want to make sure that it gets to you in time, we have a special deal for y'all, only $5. Just like the picture says, make sure that you click that. Just make sure that you know it's only for the Drinking Team and the Beers hat. You cannot get that deal if you use the Seahawks Today t-shirt in that order. So if you want to make sure that your Drinking Team and your hat gets there in time for St. Patrick's Day, Express, $5, and it'll get where it needs to be. Make sure that you click the link that's in the comment section and description of today's video if you want to go grab one of those. What's going on, Father Time? Love when we get some of the olds in on our shows. Will the Seahawks re-sign any of their key free agents? So let's look at who the big name players were for the Seahawks going into NFL free agency, because there were 6 players that really stood out to me that I found very fascinating and that I believe the Seahawks were going to do a big job of making sure that they were going to get back. Running back Kenneth Walker, Shaheed, safety Kobe Bryant, edge Boye Mafe, cornerback Reek Woolen, and cornerback Josh Jobe. Now, when I look at this crew, I do think that the Seahawks have a good shot at getting back Josh Jobe. But when it comes to the other guys with the Seahawks, I just have a hard time because they are going to make more money than, frankly, I feel comfortable with the Seahawks paying them. And we all know that John Schneider is known for having a clear cap, that he will not go above or beyond. He also trusts himself to be able to use his draft picks to get the best players into Seattle. And frankly, at this point, I trust John Schneider because he's proven that he can do these things at a high level. So to me, I'm going to trust that John gets the job done. And he goes out and he makes sure that he signs only deals with players that are good for the franchise and will bring the most amount of talent back to this team. If you want the Seahawks to dominate NFL free agency, like the video, it's not that hard and it doesn't cost you anything. Just go in, hit that thumbs up button, and you are going to maybe help the Seahawks dominate NFL free agency. What is up, my guy Xander? Let's go Hawks. I hope Crosby will be a Seahawk. I hope so too, man. There's a lot of news and rumors swirling about him. Frickin' would love to see him in Seattle. Jerry Brooks, what is going on, sir? I am nervous, but it's just fanboy nerves. I trust John and Mike have a plan, and they have my trust. Jerry, I could not agree more, sir. I've already tweeted out how I was nervous. It feels like the Seahawks are losing all these key parts, although I will say that the re-signing of Drake Thomas was a big deal. Getting Ty Okada as well as George Halani back, those were sneaky good deals. Schneider seems to be biding his time. I think right now he really is a snake in the grass. He's waiting for an opportunity to pounce, and I think that he does have a clear plan. He has a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C. The question is where will he be able to act upon it? And I just have to trust that at the end of the day, Mike and John know what they need to do to make sure that this team is in the best position possible to succeed. So I trust them. I think we'll get there. Techcom Power Hub. What's going on, sir? If we get better on the edge, we will be just fine. I could not agree more, sir. I think that the Seahawks could potentially go after some big name guys in free agency. I would be very interested to see if the Seahawks end up bringing in Trey Hendrickson. Now, it's important to note that the Dallas Cowboys obviously have some interest in him as well. So whoever ends up signing Hendrickson in free agency, they're going to get a top-end pass rusher. Hopefully his number ends up hitting what the Seahawks are comfortable paying, and hopefully he wants to join a team that could legitimately win a Super Bowl next year. I don't know that the Cowboys are in that spot yet. Tech and Power Hub hits us with the double tap. What's up, sir? Plenty of DBs in this year's draft. Yes, sir. I could not agree more. There's some really good defensive backs that have been linked to the Seahawks. Avian Terrell, someone that Mel Kiper had as potentially falling all the way to that 32nd pick. Clemson cornerback. I think that he would fit perfectly with the Seahawks team. And you'd really see an explosive jump as well from the defense because he is a lockdown corner. He's also a ball hawking corner, guy that can go after and make a bunch of interceptions, something that we didn't necessarily see a ton from the cornerback room. The other guy that I find fascinating is out of South Carolina, Brandon Cisse. That guy is unbelievable. Could he end up being someone that plays a multitude of positions fitting into this amoeba-style defense that Macdonald has kind of morphed around his players instead of having his players morph around his defense? I think it's possible. Very excited to see there. You're right, Tech and Power Hub. There's definitely some good DBs. We got a triple dose of good news. Tech and Power Hub is back. I hope we don't re-sign Walker. I want a running back to run north and south, not east and west. This is the league your athleticism won't always win. I don't hate that take. It's important to kind of remember with Kenneth Walker, while the end of the year was great for him, beginning of the year, it wasn't like he was blowing the doors off anybody. And I kind of attribute at least a little bit of this success for Kenneth Walker to the fact that he wasn't the bell cow this year. Seattle didn't ask him to be the number one running back until Zach Charbonnet went down. It was more so of a, Sonic and Knuckles type situation. You shared the load. And because of that, I think Kenneth Walker was a little bit fresher closer to the end of the year. And because he was a little bit fresher towards the end of the year, you saw a lot more success from Walker. So when I look at what the Seahawks are doing in free agency, I'm not willing to pay Kenneth Walker the rumored number that he's going to get. And if I'm not willing to pay that number, well then Seattle's going to have to move on from interested to see who they sign in free agency. So, what's going on, sir? Hot take, but I wouldn't mind Greenard and get Cisse. Now, Sue's here talking about cornerback Brandon Cisse in the NFL draft. I do like that pick as well. Obviously, I already talked about him a little bit before this. The other player that I do find fascinating here is Jonathan Greenard. Now, Seattle would have to trade with the Minnesota Vikings. Obviously, Seattle has called and they are interested in Greenard. We know that from reporter Corbin Smith. What I find interesting about Greenard is that Seattle would have to give up more than likely a second-round pick and a pick at the back end of the draft. Seattle does not have a ton of draft capital, but John Schneider is one of the best, if not the best, GMs at finding talent in the draft, taking them and watching them blossom into being stars in the National Football League. So to me, I could see Seattle trading for Greenard, but I don't know that they're willing to give up that price. I would love for him to be in Seattle. I think he fits great in this defense. I just don't know that I love Seattle trading for him. Will the Seahawks make a big move this week? Still a little bit of time left to go. Let me know down below in the comment section, yes or no. And we'll see what ends up happening. I think the Seahawks could be in a very good position to make a big move during the week of NFL free agency. Michael, what's going on? Will the Chat Sports host do a mock draft? Yes, we've done one that ended up being a 3-round. We'll end up doing a full draft, mock draft here soon. But I'll tell you right now, my focus is a little bit more so on NFL free agency because, well, that's right around the corner. Patrice, what is going on? Is Jake Bobo leaving? Why didn't we tender him? So here's the reason for this. Jake Bobo might be leaving. Seattle ended up not offering him his tender because it ended up being worth $3 million. The Seattle Seahawks were not willing to pay Jake Bobo $3 million, and I kind of understand that. They are hoping that they're going to be able to bring Bobo back for less. Now, is it possible that a team comes in and offers Jake Bobo a little bit more money than that? Yeah, 100%. And if he ends up moving on, that does suck, and that is unfortunate. That being said, I still think there's a world where he ends up coming back to Seattle, and it's just more so on a team-friendlier deal. What's going on, Master B Chief? And I wonder what that means. You think the NFC West will have 3 teams in the playoffs again? Yeah, I do. I think the Arizona Cardinals are ass. That is the actual correct and dictionary definition, proper term. That being said, I do say that the San Francisco 49ers, they're a very darn good team. They're very impressive to me. I think that the LA Rams, I don't see them going anywhere anytime soon, unfortunately. As long as they're going to be able to have Matt Stafford there, they're going to be a pretty darn good ball club. So, yes, I think you're going to see 3 teams in the playoffs again in the NFC West, barring some sort of crazy injury situation. What's going on? It's the one, it's the only Pop Toes. Will, you, and Searle are the best 12s. We are not the best 12s, but I do love and appreciate that sentiment, man. Love covering the Seahawks. Love getting to interact with the real ones of Seahawks Today. I know producer Searle does as well. We really enjoy being here with y'all. It's a lot of fun, but I'll tell you this right now. We certainly aren't the best. There are plenty of other 12s that are better than we are. Thank you guys so much for hitting that sub button. Make sure that you do so now so you don't miss out on any of the NFL free agency news in 2026. By the way, we're closing in on 86K. Help us out by hitting that sub button. Is there a chance? What's up, Speedy Shaheed? It's an interesting way to spell that name. Is there a chance that the Seahawks bring back Rashid Shaheed? I'll tell you right now, it doesn't feel great. It certainly feels like he is potentially on the move, and he will not be back in Seattle. It feels like he has a number that he realizes he is going to be able to make in NFL free agency, and I don't know that the Seahawks are going to be able to match that. Obviously, the report came from ESPN's Adam Schefter just a couple of days ago that Seattle wasn't really in a spot where they were going to be able to offer Shaheed the amount of money that he thought he deserved or that he was necessarily looking for. And I don't blame the Seahawks for being unwilling to, at least right now, pay that amount for Shaheed. When you look at his stat line with the Seattle Seahawks, it's not like he had the greatest year. Now, I would say that an offseason with Sam Darnold, an offseason with Brian Fleury, the new offensive coordinator, I do think that he would be able to put himself in a position to have as much success as possible, because obviously he had success with the Saints. That being said, I don't know that I'm willing to pay $18 million for him. That's what it sounds like he's going to get. I don't know that I'm willing to pay $18 million for him. Hit that thumbs up button if you like today's video. I understand that not all of the content you might like, or all of the things that we're talking about in our content, you might not love, but you love Seahawks Today. You love what we're doing here on the channel. Hit that thumbs up button and make sure that you subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Hit that sub button. It's only going to help you become an even more informed fan on the best team in the National Football League. Thank you guys so much for viewing today's video, and I cannot wait to see you next time.